Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States. Thanks so much for joining me. Sorry I'm a minute or two late. My laptop decided that it did not want to allow me in. So frustrating technology sometimes. All right. So let's see where we're at. See what I can get up. Oh man. Doesn't look like I posted that from last night. Can't deal with it now. Oh, I think I have to. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'll fix that stuff later. Apparently, I forgot to post the video from last night. And now I can't do anything until I finish that up, because if I do, it's going to mess everything else up, I think. Okay, come on. Okay, I'm frustrated. Okay, let's see if anybody's on. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Laura. All right, good. Ugh, technology. You go to get in the laptop and it will not give you the place where you have to put your passcode in. Wouldn't let me restart it. Do nothing. Stupid thing. Okay, well, that's all over. Now, let's go ahead and we are going to make a card that I got off of a sketch. And do I know where I got the sketch? No, I don't. And I didn't write it down. So there we are. Okay, so we're going to use Bordered in Beauty again tonight. And why are we doing that? Because I love it so much. Okay? And then let me switch this over to live chat. All right, good. And then we're also going to be using the Beautiful Ordinary Life paper. Let me see. I've got that right here. Well, I do if I can. Okay, why is everything gotta be a fight tonight? Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. Apparently, it's just going to be one of those nights where everything has to be a big fight. So, Beautiful Ordinary Life. This is out of the May to August 2026 catalog. These are the patterns. They're colored on one side and all black and white patterns on the other. So I decided to use this. Those are the patterns. It comes in 12 by 12, but it's easier to show you that. And I didn't get this one made. So we'll have to do this one. We're using the Artisan Sketch Garden as well. And so these are all black and white, both sides. Hello, Jan. So glad to see you on again. Are you guys doing okay with the weather? Because we got a lot of wind here, and you guys were supposed to get it way worse than we were. So hope you're faring well over there. I know it is windier than crazy here. All right, so we've got the Bordered in Beauty, and we've got those two Designer Series papers. And then I'm going to use a sentiment. This doesn't have any sentiment, so I'm going to use sentiment from Banner Sayings. And then for my envelope, I'm using Addressed to You. This is my favorite way to do envelopes when I don't have a stamp set necessarily that has images to use. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a basic black card base, and this is going to be landscape, so I've cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 or by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. And then we have some of the designer series papers. So we've got 3 pieces. These 2 are from Beautiful Ordinary Life, and this is 1 1/2 by 4. This is 1 inch by 3, and this is 1 1/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, this is from the Artisan Sketch paper, so we're going to use that. And then we have a piece of basic white, and I cut mine at 2 1/4 by 4. When I get done, I need this to be at 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. But we need to do some things to this first. So I need to grab a piece of scratch paper, and we're going to do some stamping. Cloudy and a bit rainy the last couple days. We had wind a few days ago. Ooh, that's some pretty heavy wind if your barbecue flies off the patio. That's not cool. So I'm going to put this down on my grid paper. And this is, I'm going to stamp on this edge for the minute. This is going to actually go like this, but I need to do it this way to start with. So we're going to bring in Pretty Peacock ink and this stamp, this scallop stamp from the Bordered in Beauty. Now you could use either this one or this one. I chose to go this way. And I'm going to take my Pretty Peacock ink, and you really do want to have this on a grid paper to try your best to get it straight. Now, does that mean I'm going to get it straight? Not necessarily. I'd have a better shot if I do it this way. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm actually going to put just a tiny piece of tape there so that this doesn't move on me. Get that as straight as I can. And then I'm going to ink up my stamp in Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to try and put that, I put this purposefully right on the line, and I'm going to try to make that work. Okay, but if it doesn't, we can fix it. Okay, so we've got that. Now, I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to bring in our mini die cut machine. And we're going to bring in our Bordered in Beauty die. Okay, so we've got this, and we're going to take, don't tell me it's not in here because that would be really bad. Oh, right here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to take this little die right here. And we're going to put our plates down. And I'm going to put this in and lay this down and line that up. And then we're going to run that through. Okay, and like I said, this is one of those nights where everything has to be harder than it needs to be. Okay, there we go. So we're done with that. That is basically all of our die cutting. And we'll lift that off, and this is what we have. Okay, go ahead and take that off, cut off that much. Now I need this to be 3.5 inches. And this is where, if you did not get this exactly straight, you can put this in at the 3.5 inch mark. Put your scallops right along that 3.5 inch mark. Make your edge. See if that's straight. And if it's not, then adjust it. In this case, it looks like I got it pretty straight. So I'm just going to cut it at 3.5. And now I've got the piece I need. Okay. All right. So at this point, we are going to emboss our sentiment down here. So we're going to bring that back in. And we're going to get our embossing buddy for sure, because we just inked that up. So we want to make good and sure that that ink is not going to catch our embossing powder. Okay. So then we'll bring our Versamark ink. And we've got the sentiment, wishing you good things. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want the happy birthday. Okay, so I've got the happy birthday from Banner Sayings. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp that down here in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm not going to press hard because this is a delicate stamp and I don't want it to be distorted. So I'm just going to let it sit on there so that the ink will transfer. Close up our Versamark and we'll bring in our black embossing powder. And then we'll pour that on. Okay. The one thing I find on the Wow powder versus what we used to have, you can't tap it too hard, and you usually have to pour it on twice, it seems like. Or at least mine does. I don't know if it's that way with everybody's. Oh, crud. I just took that off of there, trying to get off that stray little piece, which of course came right back. All right, well, we're going to go with that. We're going to go with it. Okay. So let's set this aside. And we'll get our embossing tool, our heat tool. Give that a minute to heat up. And then we're going to melt that. And as soon as we see it all shiny, we'll let it go. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Now this piece needs a little bit of ink blending. So we're going to bring back in our Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to get a little bit of Pretty Peacock ink on my blending brush. And I'm going to do a little bit of blending. I'm not trying to get a ton of color. I just want a little bit. Okay? And we'll see if that's enough here in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set that aside. And then from our Artisan Sketch Garden, I've taken and fussy cut an image from, oops, sorry, I knocked the camera. from this piece right here. And I did it again. I'm a mess tonight. Wow. Okay, so we use this piece and I just fussy cut out. You could pick whatever. I just happened to grab this particular one. All right, and it's going to be stubborn and not want to go back in, so go away. Now we're going to take this and we're going to color this. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Blends. Get these things out of the way. And here's what we have for colors. Okay, so we've got Daffodil Delight, Light Timid Tiger, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, and we've got Real Red. And then we'll be using the Wink of Stella. Okay, and these are all colors I pulled out of the Beautiful Ordinary Life paper. So we're going to start with Flirty Flamingo and Real Red, and I've got the light one. And so I'm going to take and put some Real Red in the center of this one, and right here in the center of this one. Then I'm going to take dark Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to go around these areas where there would be shadows, which is where the petals overlap. Okay. And we'll just put in a little bit of the dark and on the artisan lines. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And then we're going to finish filling those flowers in with the light Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to start in the center, and then when I get near the outside, I'm going to work in. That will keep my blend from bleeding outward. And not going where I don't want it. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in because I forgot to do this. There would definitely be a shadow along the petal here. So let's add that in. And we'll finish off this flower. And then we're going to take our Daffodil Delight and Timid Tiger. We'll start with Timid Tiger. We'll put Timid Tiger in the center. And then dark Daffodil. I'm just going to flick a little bit outward here. And where these petals are overlapping, I'll throw in some dark. And then we'll go to the light. Okay. And we'll just bring that color down toward the center so it doesn't bleed outward. Okay, so we've got those done. Now we need to do the leaves, and we're going to do them in Lost Lagoon. Again, I'm starting with the dark. I'm going to flick up, and then at the base, and then here where it overlaps the petals. Let's put a little bit in the bottoms here. Okay. And finally, we'll finish this off with a light. Again, working down into the dark to prevent that color from running outside. Okay, so there's what we have. Yeah, I don't know what's up with it, Jan. I actually have gone back at times to my older actual Stampin' Up. Okay, so I already had fussy cut that, so we don't need to do that. And now we're going to take the Wink of Stella, because I love this. And we're going to add some shimmer. Okay, just to the flowers. And I'm sure you can't see that, but that turned out quite beautifully. Okay, so now we're ready to start putting our card together. We have all of our pieces and we're ready to go. So we're going to start first with our 1.5 by 4 inch, double checking 1.5 by 4 inch. And we're going to put this on here with about an even border on all 3 sides. Well, we are if my Stampin' Seal will cooperate. I know y'all have the same thing where sometimes you just have a day where things just don't want to work right. Okay, so we've got that. Then we're going to take our piece of the Artisan Sketch paper, and this was 1.25 by 3.5. Double checking. Yep. Okay. We're going to put this about right here. And then we're going to add our 1 by 3 inch strip of the beautiful Ordinary Life. I'm going to put this right here. Okay. And now we're going to add this. But because I have this paper here and this is flat, I'm going to use glue dots on this side. But before I put all that on, I'm going to make sure that I have enough ink blending. And now I'm going to fix that where I want the blending to go. Okay, so we're good with that. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to double stack my glue dots because I have 3 thicknesses of Designer Series paper. So I like to pick them up with my Take Your Pick tool, put them on top of each other, and use my glue dot backing thingy paper to get that off of my tool. Okay, now I can just take, and I want to put this on. Oh, I smeared my ink. How did I do that? Well, we're going to fix that with embellishment, I think. Let's see if I can get some of that off, because that's awfully big. Darn it. Oh, wait a minute. If I can't get this off, we're okay. Because I pre-did this, but I put the happy birthday at the top. So that's what we're going to use. And I'll grab this, make sure I don't have any ink on my finger, because I do. I'll just redo this like this. It's okay. Punt. Okay, I'm good with that. Now let's wipe this off of here because that's probably where I got it from. All right. Now we're good. We'll take our piece here, grab our glue dots, and we'll put one on each end and then in the middle. Okay, so now we've got that. We're just going to set this down like this. And now that'll sit a little more evenly. Bring in some Stampin' Dimensionals. And you guys, I know I get carried away on the dimensionals because I don't want anything to be saggy. Got to move that to the inside just a bit. Okay, and then we'll get some minis. And I'll stick one on the leaf here, up here. And I know, overkill, but it's not going to sag. And then I'm going to take the tip of my tweezers here and lift those up. I'll let those go really easily. Okay. Yeah, I'm always keeping it real, Tracy. I don't have any other way to be. And sometimes things are just difficult. Okay, so we've got that now. And then we're going to get some gems. And actually, I've done the inside. Let's go ahead and put this in. So what I did with this is I took from the same banner sayings, I took Cue the Confetti. Oh, and I did Happy Birthday. I was supposed to put something else in there. It's fine. I'll fix it. Because that's silly to say Happy Birthday twice. And we'll put this in here. And this particular blossom here was on the edge of the paper and it wasn't full. So like this one here, these don't throw these away. Go ahead and fussy cut them out and use them on the edges. They're still perfectly good pieces. And nobody will really know that I cut that from the piece. They'll think that I just intended to do it that way. All right. Oh, that was silly. Somebody forgot to put the, oh my goodness. Forgot to put the Stampin' Seal down on this side. We should probably use that so that that'll stay nice and solid there. Yeah. Woo, there goes the wind. Okay, I've got my window open because it's pretty hot in my house. But the wind is really blowing out there tonight. Okay, so we've got that. Now we need some gems. And I was going to see about putting the bow. And again, I'm using that black and white and gold baker's twine that's on the Last Chance, but still available. And let's see, do we want this size? Yeah, maybe. No, let's go one bigger. Let's go one bigger. I'm going to tie this up. And I think I can add it down there in the bottom corner, which is actually why I had put the happy birthday up at the top. And then I didn't look at what I was supposed to be doing. I just did it. Because on my sample, that's how I did it. Okay, so now we've got this. Let's grab a glue dot. And we're going to put that down there. Now I'm going to take my tweezers and pick that up and pinch it. And because of the nature of this twine, I'm going to use a second one. Just for added insurance. And then we'll put this down here like this. Okay. And I think I'm going to go ahead and trim that up just a tiny bit more. Try and get those even. Okay, get out of the wrong spot there, tool. Okay, so we've got that, and now we're going to use the array of dots. This is from the Beautiful Ordinary Life Suite collection, which is the designer series paper that we're also using, or one of them. And let's do, I'm going to put a large Flirty Flamingo down here. And then we'll do a smaller one and a medium one. These come in 3 sizes. Hang on. Oh, come on. Quit being so stubborn today. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Let's try this. I think I'll be happier if I put them up here more by the sentiment. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. All right. And that is the front of our card. Okay. So we've got that. We've got our inside. And then because I didn't use any image stamps for the envelope, I pulled in that address to you, and I wanted to use, I used the piece that is the rectangular piece on here just to keep in with the rectangles that we used here to make it look cohesive. And then I added some florals in the same Stamp and Blend ink pattern. Okay. So if you don't have this paper, or you don't like fussy cutting or whatever, just take a look at this layout because it's really pretty easy. And you could use whatever you already have on hand. I highly recommend those Bordered in Beauty stamp and die set because that you can do just so much with it. So much. All right, so here is the one we made tonight. Here's my original. This just shows a different floral. And this is where I actually used the Wishing You Good Things, but I didn't emboss it, and I prefer the embossing. So anyway, 2 samples for you. And this one, because of the way this is a bigger floral, I didn't have room for the bow. All right, everybody. Oh, good, Tracy. I'm so glad that you like that sketch. It's super easy to put together, and I really like it. Thanks, you guys. I'm so glad you like that. I will be back on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on my Facebook channel with some more projects. And then if you can't make that, I'll be back again here next Thursday night at 7. Thanks so much. Anything you need to order from the Stampin' Up! Online store, you'll find a link in the description of this video once it's uploaded. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.